Do you believe that you can heal yourself? Too often we give our power away to something outside of ourselves, and rarely, if ever, trust and tap into our innate healing power and intuition. Everyone has this capability to heal in ways we never thought possible. It's your sovereign right to claim and have true health and lasting wellness. Now, here is the host of the Dr. Dolores Show, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are in our amazing universe. Welcome to another episode on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we are talking about compassion today. And I feel that we're in a time and a place in our world where this is not a thing that's optional, it's a must right now. We are in such interesting times, and I don't know about you, but there's a lot of judging and criticizing going on in collective consciousness. And I personally am into how could I better shift and contribute to collective consciousness, and to make a shift, because people think that we have no choice or we don't have the capability to shift and change. But I'm going to offer you something different. We do, because everything is really up to us. It starts with us first. It is about us being aware so that we can make a different choice. Now, for many people, this might be a stretch, and everything does start with us first, okay? Because what we witness in our world, we have contributed to in one way, shape, or form, okay? It's called collective consciousness. Because remember, everything is energy, okay? What you're witnessing, looking at me, if you're able to see on a TV screen or whatever, computer screen, you're seeing me, and this is a denser version of energy, okay? And everything that's in my office is a denser version of energy. When you're able to look at all of these components that you're seeing that are denser versions under a high-powered microscope, they vibrate, so it's energy. Now, just remember this. What you could see is one thing, but there's a whole world of what we can't see, which maybe we call the invisible, maybe the unconscious. But what is really important is this. Everything is energy, okay? Even though we can't see it or maybe tangibly feel it or grasp it, it's there. It's almost the analogy of this. Okay, we have an iceberg. You know, everybody's familiar with icebergs. You see the tip of the iceberg. It's the physical part of who we are, but underneath the surface of the water is what we can't see because it's not visible to us, but yet sometimes it's a bigger mass. And what is underneath the surface are all the things that we cannot see, like our beliefs, the stuff that we say to ourselves in the quiet of our mind. It's also our emotions, whether or not we've experienced them or, you know, put them on a shelf for later to deal with. It's all energy. Our connectedness to ourselves, also our connectedness to our inner wisdom, our intuition, but also our ancestral components that come with us through time and place, and also dimensional. So we talk about dimensional stuff, 3D, 4D, fifth dimensional stuff. It's like timeline hopping type of thing. That's for another conversation another time. But circling back to what I'm talking about as far as the iceberg, what you could see, and underneath the surface, what you can't see. So these are all things that are running the show. And believe it or not, what we think or say to ourselves also ripples out from us into collective consciousness. So we are all contributing all the time, whether or not you have the awareness that you are or not. So that's something to wrap your mind around and think about. And when you have awakened and you're more aware that you do contribute to the bigger picture, even though you're just one person, you do. it's a game changer. And it's like, how do you want to show up in your life so you could be the best version of who you are and to contribute to that collective consciousness pot? A lot of storms happening in our world today, a lot of weather patterns and weather changes. And interestingly enough, there is a component of the weather having a consciousness as well, a consciousness aspect. And I'm going to share a story on that. Way back about 20 years ago here in Southern California, we had a major fire. And for a fire to come through San Diego and in the rural area, that's pretty rare, but it does happen. And it actually came really close to my neighborhood. And what was interesting was when the fires went through the neighborhood, I couldn't understand why it would take out a bunch of houses and there would be one house that was unscathed in like the whole neighborhood or a couple of them. And so I sat with that and I just went into meditation and I just asked my higher self and I got this download. So I started writing and I asked, is there a consciousness with fire? And they responded, yes, the fire knows where it needs to go in order to purge and to recorrect and redirect things. And I'm thinking to myself, whoa. So, and also fire is a purification type of modality. So sometimes fires are a way of cleansing and purifying the land and purifying whatever trapped stagnant energy that's there, not only in our lifetime, but over the eons of lifetimes that the earth has existed. So it's something to consider and ponder about. So, how does this all circle back to compassion and being self-compassionate? It's really about realizing that we're more instrumental in creating our reality than you ever know. It's about us being able to choose and discern how we want to show up instead of going into react mode, which is a way of showing up, or you can make a different choice. When you become more aware of what is happening in your world, I know for me, it's allowed me to want to make a difference, to be the best version of who I can be and lead by example. Because actions do speak louder than words. When you are coming more in balance, it's the essence of who you are from within that's rippling out into humanity, into collective consciousness. We talk about light workers, okay? The light that many people shine, it's like they have this essence about them, and what they are is actually their lighthouses in the fog for other people to be able to be led, guided. It's not like the end all be all, but it's to get them out of the dark areas of their lives and allow their vibration to rise a little more than what it had been the moment before. What we need to remember is this: we can create anything we want. I feel the intention and the awareness are keys. And also having the compassion, because let's face it, many of us have had some interesting life experiences. And I'm not going to say they were good or bad. They were educational opportunities that have allowed us to be and get to where we are at this current moment. And all the wisdom and knowledge that we've gained from being and experiencing those things that maybe we label as good times or tragedies, whatever that is, you've gained valuable knowledge. And it's allowed you to become the person that you are. Now, what you do with this knowledge and moving forward is key, and it's up to you. You have choices here. When you are operating from a point of self-compassion and compassion, you're able to give yourself the grace and the love and the respect that you deserve. In our world today, there is so much judging and criticism. And when we look at that pool in collective consciousness, we've all contributed to it in one way, shape, or form, okay? And it's about us right now stepping back, coming into our awakened self, and just offering ourselves compassion for our contributions to that. And I'm going to stretch this a little bit for many of you, is that, when we are in the quiet of our mind and we are maybe a perfectionist, or maybe we don't feel good about ourselves, we say some not so pretty things to ourselves in the quiet of our mind. Yet that is also contributing out into collective consciousness, because we are witnessing what we are witnessing out there. There's a component of that that's part of us. When you're able to shift that and have more self-compassion for yourself, the essence of that compassion is going to ripple out into collective consciousness. This is going to allow you to witness a shift and change in your world. Okay. And, a lot of people are thinking, well, how do I, what's this self-compassion thing? For many of us, maybe we don't even know what that is. And I'm going to share one thing with you. It's okay, and it doesn't matter. Because remember, words have frequency and vibration. Just the whole concept of saying the word self-compassion as a mantra to yourself has enough higher frequency than what you're experiencing if you're beating yourself up and judging and criticizing yourself, that allows you to raise your frequency enough so this is going to come, the lower vibrating things of judging and criticizing are going to fall away and fade into the background, okay? Because you're raising your frequency. When you're raising your frequency by even just, saying self-compassion to yourself or even out loud, it's starting to raise your vibration and frequency. And so it's no longer a match, and this will fall away. We have a tendency, and we've been programmed this way too, to judge and criticize. Let's face it. In my family, there was a lot of judging and criticizing. In fact, it was handed down from generations in my household. There's more that I think about it, but that's what everybody did. It's just like, that is how we were programmed. That's how society functions. And we have contributed to that, probably more automatically and reactively than really being proactive about it. So I invite you to kind of sit with that and mull that over. And if you have a tendency to, be a gossip, judge, or criticize other people, or, it's about the ego's way of trying to make it survive. And we're heading to a different place right now. That's an old paradigm that's shifting. We are moving to a more loving, more group-like setting. And it's more about us just being present right here, right now. And so we're getting ready to go on our first break. And you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And when we come back, we'll talk more about this amazing concept of compassion.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world, knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message, the world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to another episode of the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network, and I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we've been talking about compassion today and how important that is and how we as individuals have more influence in collective consciousness than we know. And, I want to extrapolate a little bit more on, the whole thing about compassion. It's like when we have awoken, and many of us are either awake, are awakening, or are still asleep. And that's just, we have waves of people who are constantly waking up. And what we call that is a spiritual awakening. And I'm going to actually have a show in the near future on spiritual awakening, and we'll discuss that in way more detail. But just to summarize what spiritual awakening is, it's like when we are realizing that maybe, things have happened in our life that had been working before and are no longer working, or you just have this feeling within yourself that there's more to life than what you're experiencing, but you have no idea what that is. Sometimes you're going through a spiritual awakening because your focus that had been external is not doing it for you anymore, and it's not satisfying you, and you're kind of you're actually searching and seeking, and actually where that information is within yourself. So you're learning how to come within yourself to gain the wisdom and the knowledge and everything that you are on a soul level. So that's my definition of a spiritual awakening. And when we are at that point in our life, it's like life has shifted a little bit where the external is important, but it doesn't matter to you anymore. What really matters is what you are feeling and sensing within yourself, having that serenity and inner peace and certainty within yourself when everything around you is like the spin cycle on a washing machine, okay? It's like everything is, it's another example of like being the eye of the storms of your life that you are experiencing as you walk through collective consciousness. So it's important, I feel, that when you're on your spiritual journey and you're taking ownership and personal responsibility, it's like you up the ante of the game for yourself, meaning that what you do really matters, and you know that. And how you show up in your essence is how you are contributing to society and collective consciousness. It's like you are becoming more aligned with who you are at a very deep level than the superficial stuff that the masks or the superficiality that you put on in order to exist in the outer world. Okay. It's about coming really clear about who you are as a spiritual and soul, and taking ownership and personal responsibility so that you're going to be able to walk your talk and be in alignment with who you are. Also, it's important to know that it's about empowering yourself too, and empowering yourself to be in integrity with who you are. When something feels out of alignment, you'll know it. One thing I have to share is, like, I know for me, I'm always working on myself and doing my personal growth and spiritual growth work. It's not a one and done. It's not a bypass. It's like every day you have an opportunity to show up in your best possible way, but also things are going to come up that may trigger or push your buttons. So what's really important is realizing, okay, and being contemplative and mindful of what's kind of happening instead of going down the rabbit hole of react. When we're able to function from that aspect, it'll be really clear where you're out of alignment in your life. And I'm going to share one example. Earlier this year, I had some contract work that I was doing with an institution that they were going through some financial things, and so they were making it really difficult to get paid from, or they would give you a bunch of lip service and all this other stuff, and I would say they were even almost gaslighting you. And I realized, okay, in my personal life, I've set boundaries and structure that I don't allow those things to happen in my personal life. Yet in my business world, I am. I was like, okay, that's a news flash. And that was a huge epiphany for me. And I said, oh, hell no. It's just like, no, this is who I am. I'm not going to be not valued, disrespected, or not appreciated. So I ended the contract because it was no longer in alignment with who I was. And when you're actually working on yourself and you're able to see the bigger picture, we have been fragmented all over the place until we become more aware within ourselves. And when this starts to happen, sometimes you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this. This is where having compassion and self-compassion is important. You are just being uber aware now where you had not been before. And maybe you weren't ready before to be aware. Now you are. Now you get to see things. And it's not about that you're a bad person or anything like that. You just have the awareness now. And now from this point, you could make a different choice. So this is really important too. It's about being authentic. It's about, you're going to have a whole, I'm going to say a treasure trove of self-discovery. You're going to find out things about yourself that had always been there, but you were either oblivious to, unconscious to, or just didn't even know that these were aspects of yourself that are there. And they're really beautiful components of who you are. And it's like having a renaissance. It's like coming back to self and discovering who you are as an individual. So important. And this is where having compassion is important as well, to be able to go and walk that path and not judge or criticize it, no beating self up. It's about having the compassion to look at that from a different set of eyes, through the eyes and the filter of compassion. And it's really about learning how to be in integrity with yourself. For me, one of my top rated values that I really hold near and dear to my heart is being in integrity. It always has been that way for me because I always have found, I used to joke about this, if you do something out of integrity, it's always going to come back and bite you in the butt. And it's a truth. It's not always easy, yet it's essential. Okay. Because we're in charge here. We could make the changes and have the effect that we need to have within our world. And just think, as we are cleaning up and getting more in alignment and being in integrity with ourselves, what does that do? It ripples out into collective consciousness. It's providing more good vibes into the collective consciousness. And trust me, we so need that now. It's going to be fostering, you're going to learn a lot about yourself. And, we all are going to what we call have mistakes or failures. And these are just opportunities just to allow us to stretch ourselves and to also gain wisdom. Especially for those of us who are perfectionists, recovering perfectionists here, that everything has to be perfect or I'm not doing it. Because, you just don't want to have to deal with the fallout of, maybe you were being judged and criticized for whatever. I'm going to say the international no sign, no judging, no criticizing. This is about compassion, having compassion and looking at what we label as mistakes or failures as stepping stones, growth opportunities, because you gained some wisdom that you probably needed to experience or maybe to re-access within yourself so that you know that you have the capability when you are able to make your next move to move forward. Resilience, you're going to realize that your resilience is going to be unshakable. It's like it's like nothing can keep you down. I love this saying because I remember when I was younger, I'm younger in my 30s, I would say, when I was telling people that I wanted to do X, Y, and Z, and they said, well, you can't do that. And I was just like, I basically said under my breath, just watch me. Because it's just like you have resilience and you're able to maneuver through life when you have resilience with a lot more grace and determination. Sometimes it's I wouldn't call it resistance. It's almost like a rebellish type of feel to it, but it's the persistence. That's the word I want to say. It's the persistence. You're persistent. When we are able to, be compassionate, it's like we're developing our empathy muscle, if you want to call it that. And it allows us to, take the wisdom that we've learned and, humbly implement it into our life as we move forward. And I think really what's really important too is, especially in our time and age right now, as we are shifting from the me versus we, it's like the whole sense of community. Community is just really important. And I'm finding for myself, my tribe is showing up and they're not right next door to me. They may be, but some of these people are halfway across the world. And, you're finding the commonalities and it's the energy. It's like people who are of the same vibration are of the same tribe, basically. And so our vibration is I'm going to say, our fishing pole, if you want to call it that, because it's allowing us to cast out what we are wanting to do into collective consciousness, and the right people are coming to us now. So I know I spoke about a lot of things in this segment, and I think the most important thing is to learn how to come back to self and to realize that we are in charge and we're in control. We are in charge and we could create anything we want. So I'm going to invite you to create more love and compassion in your world and see what happens. So we're going to go on our next break, and you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're talking about compassion today on the Dr. Dolores Show. So see you when we come back from break.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
How wonderful would it be to carry your favorite Inspired Choices Network host with you throughout your day? Well, now you can. Inspired Choices Network now has its very own mobile app. Our free app offers live streaming shows, along with thousands of podcasts and TV episodes. Our shows cover a wide variety of topics. Whether you're waking up with us, carrying us through the day, and taking us to bed with you, we're always here for you to enjoy. We're easy to find. Just search for Inspired Choices Network in the Apple App Store or Google Play Store.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and thank you for listening. We're on the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And I'm just going to do a short commercial break because I think I got something for you that you're going to really enjoy, especially since we've been talking about awakening today on the show, but also about compassion. I am launching a program. It's a monthly membership called I'm Awake, Now What? Do you ever realize that you're awake and you're like, now what am I supposed to do with it? That's why the title is what it is. But this is a program and it's a monthly membership where it's for people who are on their spiritual journey that maybe they've just awoken and they don't have a roadmap or they don't have a reference point as to, okay, what's next? What do I do? Where do I get the tools? Where do I get the information? At I'm Awake, Now What? This is where you could go. We're going to have a monthly Zoom session with co-host and myself, Cozy Stankakis, who is also a body talk practitioner and a Reiki master, and myself with my intuitive energy healing. We're combining those things together and offering tools, healings, support, and also community. So if this is something that you're interested in or have a calling to join us, I invite you to do that. Just go to my website, drdoloresfazzino.com, and you'll see a tag that says I'm awake now what. Just press on that and you'll get all the information that you need to join us. We are going to be starting mid-November and looking forward to having you on board. So with all of that being said, we talked quite a bit about compassion, and I shared some stories about that and how we are so essential, an essential meaning that every person matters. What we do within ourselves has the capability to contribute to collective consciousness. What you choose to put into collective consciousness can cause a ripple effect that can shift and change. When we have the awareness of what we are doing and how we are contributing to the bigger part of society, I feel that it's a game changer. When you're able to realize that you can make a difference, and it starts with each one of us, by us working on ourselves and being aware and mindful and having compassion for ourselves. Because when we are able to focus from having that compassion with ourselves, it's going to ripple out into collective consciousness. So I am going to guide you through a meditation for compassion. I always like doing a guided meditation in the third segment because it kind of pulls everything together that we discussed in the first two segments of the episode. And so I'm just going to invite you to find a nice quiet spot. And you could either lie down or, sit, whatever you like, but I'm going to invite you to gently close your eyes. And we're going to just focus on taking a deep breath. And just allow yourself to take a deep breath in and allow your body to relax and exhale. And take another deep breath in and slowly blow it out. And take one more deep breath in and slowly blow it out. So right now, I'm going to invite you to start focusing on your toes and just feel the sensation of your feet touching the ground. And just notice your body, noticing any tensions or areas of discomfort. And as you're scanning your body and moving up, your abdomen, your chest, your neck, your head, your arms. If you notice any tension in any area or discomfort, just breathe into those areas, allowing them to soften and release. It's not about trying to figure out what that is. It's just allowing them to be what they are as they are. So now I'm going to invite you to go to your heart center and just imagine a warm, golden light radiating from your chest. This light is filled with compassion and love. And just allow this golden light to expand and grow and expand and grow so it fills up your whole chest area. So now picture someone you care about deeply. And just imagine sending this warm golden light to them from your heart. And allow this light to fill them with love and compassion. And just feel the sense of connection and care that arises by just doing that. Now, expand this feeling of compassion to someone you may find challenging or difficult to love. Visualize sending this beautiful golden light to them as well. Make note of any resistance or discomfort that may arise as you do this. And just continue to breathe deeply and continue to send love and compassion their way. And I invite you to continue to expand this feeling of compassion to everyone in your life, to your community, and to the entire world. Imagine this golden energy just enveloping all of humanity. As it pours out from the overflow of that beautiful golden light within you. Imagine a vast interconnected web of compassion and love enveloping all beings. And as you come back to this time and place, know that you are not alone in this world, and that compassion is a powerful force that can heal and transform. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes and return to the present moment. Allow yourself to take a few deep breaths and just notice how you feel. Well, welcome back, everybody. I think one of the things we need to remember that we are never alone in our world, and that compassion is a powerful force that can heal and transform. So I'm going to leave you with that as we segment off to our next break. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show on Inspired Choices Network. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. And when we come back, we're going to just wrap it up and talk about next week's adventure. See you on the other side.
Do you trust your instincts? Many of us don't. Yet this is the key to connecting to your innate healer within and your intuition. Tune in to the Dr. Dolores Show with nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, Dr. Dolores Fazzino, to receive insights and tools to realign with your inner wisdom for lasting health and true wellness. Listen for the Dr. Dolores Show, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Ready to break free from complacency? Welcome to I'm Awake, Now What? Your monthly invitation to embrace conscious living. If you've been feeling lost or stagnant, this is your chance to awaken your purpose. Join our transformative conscious wake-up office hours every month for guidance and self-discovery. Experience the power of clarity and focus as you navigate towards holistic healing and empowerment. Don't just survive, thrive. Sign up now and unlock a wealth of benefits, including enhanced well-being, stress reduction, emotional healing, and connection. It's time to ignite the flames of purpose within and start your journey to a fulfilling life.
This is the Dr. Dolores Show with Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer. To participate in the program, join the live studio audience in our chat room at InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. You can also send an email to Dolores at drdoloresfazzino.com. Now, back to the program.
Well, welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And we've been talking today in depth about compassion and how it's such a necessity right now in this day and time of where we are in humanity's evolution. Things are happening really rapidly and rather quickly, and it's not for the faint of heart living through what we are living through right now in our world. We are going through massive ascension process, and it's scary, exciting, and uncertain all at the same time. And some of the important things to remember how you can maneuver through this with more ease and grace is to have more compassion in your world. Have that be the foundational piece of your existence right now, because what we talked about earlier is like, as we all contribute to collective consciousness, when people say, well, as far as voting, my vote doesn't matter. Yes, it does. You are part of the whole. You are important. And your essence and who you are have more power than you give yourself credit for. And the essence is like the feel of who you are. That will show up in a room way before you enter. And it's about allowing us to be more aware. And we talked about spiritual awakening. We're going to talk more about that in another episode. It's about us being more aligned with who we are within ourselves, not who we are within ourselves and the masks that we put on to be out in society. Wherever you are, here you are, you're showing up as you are. And you could try to put, different masks on and to fit into everything or become a chameleon. And the time of being a chameleon is over, folks, because it's about loving and trusting and honoring yourself and having compassion for yourself that's going to allow you to show up as the best version of who you are. Remember, we are in charge. When you're awake, you're more mindful. When you're mindful, you can make a different choice. Beware of what you say to yourself in the quiet of your mind. Remember, if you're going down the rabbit hole of beating yourself and judging and criticizing because maybe you're a perfectionist or maybe you're trying to please somebody else, I invite you to take a deep breath and stop in your tracks and just plug in the word self-compassion and just keep saying that to yourself as a mantra, because this is going to start raising your frequency, because remember, words have vibrations and frequencies. Self-compassion is a higher vibrating word than, I hate myself, I'm worried, I'm anxious. That's down here. So when you start focusing on a higher vibration, you're going to raise your frequency up and this stuff is going to dissipate away. I invite you to do that. I invite you to experiment with that, because you could say, oh, that doesn't work or whatever. Well, you know what? Have you tried it? If you haven't tried it, then don't make a judgment call on that. You need to experience that in order for it to be of value to you. So I invite you to experiment with it. Have your own experience. I'm sure that'll be a game changer for many of you. When you're able to have compassion, it's also about extending kindness, not only to yourself, but to other people. In a world where there's so much judging and criticism, I think the art of kindness needs to make a renaissance, a comeback. We have forgotten how to be kind. We have forgotten how to be kind to others. We have forgotten how to be kind to ourselves. So please be kind to yourself. It doesn't take much when you're out in the world, is just to smile at somebody. You never know what that person may need. You never know how that action may change a person's day. You just don't know, because many people are going through so much turmoil right now. We have no clue as what they're living through because we're not walking in their shoes. So extend your compassion for yourself to other people. So, I just want to say this. As we sit in a peaceful state of compassion, I just want you to take a moment to appreciate the feeling of compassion, or the feeling of connection and the love that surrounds you, just for a moment right now. And just remember, you are not alone in this world, and that compassion is a very powerful force that can heal and transform. And it does. You'd be surprised. Something as simple as that is a game changer. So as we conclude our talk today, I invite you to carry the seeds of compassion, self-awareness, and personal responsibility into your own lives. And just remember that you can choose to see the world through the lens of love, or any other lens you choose, but that's what you will see. And self-awareness is a journey, and just be patient with it. Explore whatever comes up for you, your thoughts, your feelings, and beliefs, and just allow them to be as they are, because they are golden opportunities for you to really gain the deeper insight within yourself. And just remember, personal responsibility is empowering. Take ownership of your life and use it as a catalyst for positive change. We all have that capability, and we all can make a difference in the world. And I just want to say, may your journey be filled with love, compassion, wisdom. And just know that you are loved more than you could imagine. And just be kind, for everyone is fighting a battle you know nothing about. And when we're able to all come together and just have compassion for that expression, we can make a huge difference in the vibration, and also contribute positively to collective consciousness. So you're listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. I'm Dr. Dolores Fazzino, nurse practitioner, medical intuitive, and energy whisperer, and we're on the Inspired Choices Network. And just remember, be kind to yourself. You are worth it. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Dr. Dolores Show. Dr. Dolores returns Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. Until then, remember to be kind to yourself and create your best life. You are worth it.